Well, good morning. You join us at the start of a session on my syndicate down in Kent. It's a beautiful old lake, about 10 or 12 acres in size, and it's got some stunning fish, up to just over 35 pounds. Now, I got here first light this morning. I've had a good look around, and it was pretty evident there was a lot of fish held up in the central body of the lake in a big weed bed. So now the trick is going to be trying to find 3 clear spots that we can present the rods on. We haven't done it yet, but I'm going to persevere and see if I can do that now. Well, after leading about for about 35 or 40 minutes, I'd soon found 3 really nice spots to present in the weed. Now, they weren't completely free of the weed, so the method of choice was going to be a pop-up. This meant that no matter what was lying underneath the thicker weed, I was still going to be presenting the bait perfectly. Now I'd got 2 rods ready, clipped up and ready to cast, and I'd hooked on a little bag with 3 linked boilies and a little foam nugget in, just so that I had a sighter to put a pouch of bait over each rod. I was just about to start getting the 3rd rod ready when the first rod I put out absolutely screamed off. Well, that didn't take long at all. We've only got 2 rods out, 1 up short on the right, and we found a lovely little hole in the weed on this left-hand rod. And it's probably not been out there no more than 20 minutes and it's off. So it just goes to show you, even though it's thick with weed out there, we found a nice little hole to present this pop-up in, and it's ramped off. So hopefully we can get it in and show you. Feels like quite a nice fish as well. Oh God, I just can't seem to get it out into the open water. It's come really hard round to our left. I'm just trying to ease it back up this margin. No need to panic, just keep it moving and it should be ours. Oh, that's it, we're out. See it there? Big clump of weed on its back. All right, well, I think we're slowly winning the battle now. Oh, maybe not. Not happy. One last bid for freedom. Well, are you finally going to be ours? I can see that little yellow pop-up dangling in his mouth. Come on, get in there. Yes! Result. Brilliant. What a result. Let's have a little look and see what we got. Just slacken that off. Oh yeah, what a start. That looks like a real cracking mirror. Just goes to show you, get that spot right in the weed, get the presentation right, and you can have a quick bite, and that is a right result to start the session. Well, what a result. 26 pound, 4 ounces, and one I've not seen before. It certainly looks good for more, so let's slip this one back and get that rod straight back out. Brilliant. I was beginning to think that lovely mirror we had this morning was going to be the only bite of the day. There's been fish in that weed bed all day and I've been sitting there thinking, why haven't I had another bite? But the patience has paid off. A little bit more link out there this afternoon and this has ramped off and I'm well happy with this one going into tonight. Those little pop-up rigs doing me proud today, nicely balanced, and it's looking good for the night ahead. Well, like is quite often the case, you wait all day for one and then another one comes along straight away. We've only just slipped that fish back. This is the only other rod I'd redone for the night. In no hurry to get that rod back out, just put the kettle on and this one's gone. What a lovely way to finish off the evening. Well, I think she is nearly ours. Big gulp of air there. Looks like the first common of the trip. Nice long dark one. And I think he's nearly ours. Yes, here he comes. Come on then, girl. You are mine. Yes! Lovely. That'll do very nicely. Well, there you go, fish number 3, and this time it's a lovely old common. Again on the pop-ups, and there's plenty more fish out in that weed bed. So let's get that rod back out. Well, after that fish last night, I was sure there was going to be some action in the night, but there wasn't. I got up at first light, made myself a brew, and I was just seeing if I could see the deer on the far bank, and the middle rod's gone into meltdown. And we've had this cracking 26-4 common. What a fish, let's hope the day continues in the same vein. So as I've said, pop-ups have been a key element to my approach on this session, and I'm using 3 different pop-ups. The first one is a link pop-up matching the hatch. The second one is a high visual pop-up, looking for those carp that might be just seeking out one individual bait. And the third one is a combination of the 2. It's a link flavoured boilie, but this time in the fluoro white. That way I've got all 3 bases covered. And much like when you're zig fishing, when you're changing the depths and colours, you can do this with the pop-ups and identify which one's working on the day, because the smallest things can make a difference. Light levels, colour of the water, and even weather conditions. So if you can identify which colour's working on the day and change all 3 rods over to that, you are going to maximise that session and put everything in your favour. So food source pop-ups, what are they? Well, they're a dedicated range of pop-ups to match the freezer baits in the range, such as Cell, Essential Cell, and what we're using today, the new Link. This enables you to create a match the hatch situation so you can fish those critically balanced pop-ups perfectly amongst your matching freebies. I'm also using pop-ups from the high visual range. These combine high attract flavours and super bright colours. These can be fantastic when fished over bait, or also used as a high attract single when casting at showing fish, or single hook bait fishing in the winter months. So as I've said, you can also combine the 2, matching both the food source you're putting out there and fishing a high visual pop-up. These can be found in the pink and white fluoro range, available in both 14mm and mini micro. The mini micros can be perfect for toppers or little snowmans. So why fish a pop-up? Well, for me, if we look at our situation today, it's very thick with weed. So if I wasn't using a critically balanced pop-up, my presentation would be severely hampered. But they can also be fantastic when fishing over dying weed, deep silt, or any situation where I want my hook bait to be clear of the lake bed. Pop-ups can also be fantastic when fishing over particle or a big spread of boilies, or even a combination of the 2. This can quite often get you a quicker bite, as it's the pop-up that the fish will see first when it comes in on your spot. But they're equally as good when fishing over little or no bait, Whether that be in the summer months when they're not feeding so hard, or the winter months when things are really tough, that single pop-up, presented perfectly, giving off loads of attraction, can quite often be the only thing the carp will take. Well, the fish have certainly made us wait today. It's been quite overcast and miserable for most of the day, and the carp have still been in that weed milling about, but no bites. So I was beginning to worry, so I've had a rechuck a couple of times, which can often be a good thing to do, because although those pop-ups are giving you a perfect presentation, you never know if there's a little bit of underlying weed or some obstructions out there that might be making it sit funny, prevent you getting a bite. So having a rechuck, freshening it up, maybe a couple of pouches of bait, can often stir you on a bite. But I think now that sun's come out for the last hour or so of the day, it's just kicked them into gear, and hopefully we can catch a few more. Oh, yeah, it's a nice fish. He's nearly ours. Come on now. Oh, scarce run. Oh, not giving up easily. Not giving up easily. Here we go. Here we go. She's ours. Big gulp of air. Come on. Oh, no, still not ready. Still not ready. Oh. Oh, this is it. There she is. Turn on the side. Are you ours? Yes, you are. Beauty. Oh, superb. Oh yeah, it's a real nice mirror. Well, how about that for scaly perfection? Absolutely made up with this one. One I've never seen, and one I'm very, very glad to catch. And best of all, we've still got a night, but I know those pop-up presentations are absolutely spot on. Nailed again in the bottom lip, and yeah, he wasn't coming off. Absolutely brilliant. Now, pop-up rigs can be as simple or as complicated as you wish to make them, and a lot of this can be down to personal preference. My personal favourite is my version of the D-rig. I start by cutting a small section of 12-pound IQ and tying a whipping knot to a size 6 curve. I'll then trim the top tag because this isn't needed anymore. I then cut a section of 15-pound braid and tie a simple knotless knot to the size 6 curve. I'll then trim the tag end. The next step is to take a medium sinker. You'll thread this on and then position this exactly how high you want the pop-up to sit off the deck. Then taking a micro ring swivel, I'll thread that onto the bottom tag of the IQ and simply poke it back through the eye and blob it off until I've got the D exactly how I want it. I then tie a simple overhand knot at the desired length of the rig, thread on an anti-tangle sleeve, and it's ready to go on a quick chain swivel. The next step is to thread on your pop-up. Now I do this using floss. I simply pull the boilie onto the swivel, tie 2 overhand knots and blob with a lighter. And now you're ready to add the putty to the medium sinker. This will control how fast or how slow the pop-up sinks. There'll be a little bit of trial and error in this, so just test it in the edge until you've got it absolutely bang on. So there you have it, my version of the D-rig. It's extremely versatile, can be used with all size pop-ups, so why not give it a go? Well, yet again, going into the night last night, I was really confident. It looked really good for a bite as the hours of darkness approached, but exactly the same pattern formed. No bites whatsoever through the hours of darkness. I've woken up this morning and conditions couldn't be further than from yesterday morning. There's a much colder wind on the lake, certainly got a little bit of north in it, but looking at the weather app, it is due to warm up in the next hour or so, so we have got a chance to nick hopefully one more bite. Well, we hope anyway. result, just when we thought there was going to be no more action before the session ended, the left-hand rod's ramped off as I'm just taking the bivvy pegs out, and it looks like we might end on a fish. Oh, she's nearly ready. Come on, this end, just how we started, on a lovely carp. In you go. Oh, lovely. Oh, you made us work for that. Well, how about that? What a fantastic way to end what's been a really enjoyable session. We said if that sun come up, we might have a chance for one more. It's well and truly up now, burning my face, and we've been rewarded with this lovely character. And it just goes to show you cannot leave home without a selection of pop-ups. We could have come here, ignored that big weed bed and where all the fish were, gone safe down the other end and fished on the bottom. But we didn't, we persevered, we found some areas that we could present that pop-up perfectly, and we've been rewarded with a selection of absolute bangers. What a fish. Let's get it back, and I must get going.